Yeah. All right, guys, we're warmed up. Our joints are ready. We have 3 different circuits or 3 different blocks. Our first block is focused on our central nervous system, some explosive power, plyometrics, and then working some core with some shoulder taps. So your first exercise are jump squats, 5 jump squats. So reaching those arms up as you jump, landing solid with those knees right over the toes. Now, if jump squats feels a little too much, you can also take it into drop squats. So you'll start with your feet together, drop into that squat, stand up, step your feet in, drop, step your feet in, okay? Followed by 10 alternating shoulder taps. So start in a plank position, hand shoulder width apart. I want you to separate your feet wider here. The goal here is to go for 10 taps, keeping those hips still. Modification, drop down into a modified plank position on the knees. So 5 jump squats into 10 alternating shoulder taps. We're going to repeat that 3 times. All right, guys, you just finished your first round. Take a short rest, grab a sip of water, and then when you're ready, get back into it. We're aiming for 2 to 3 rounds total. All right, when you're ready, let's start with those goblet squats. All right, guys, now we're getting into our strength circuit. So it's going to be 3 different exercises. First exercise is a goblet squat, 10 reps. Then we have 5 pause push-ups. And then we have a kneeling anti-rotation push-pull. So starting with goblet squats. You want to find a weight that feels challenging for 10 reps. Step over the weight, bring it up to your chest. You want to have the weight just lightly touching the top of your chest, bottom of your chest, feet a little bit wider than hip width apart. Keep that weight at chest height, sitting those hips down. Keeping those elbows on the inside of your knees, pushing those knees out over those middle toes. Keeping that chest upright. Take a short rest, anything between 20 to 30 seconds. If you need longer, take longer. From there, we have our upper body exercise, pause push-ups. So I recommend grabbing something like a yoga block so you have a target for your chest. You want to start in a plank position, hands a little bit wider than shoulder width apart. Place that yoga block centered underneath your chest. Feet hip width apart. Pull your chest down, hover. 1, 2, 3, push. Right, it's a moving plank. We want those hips and shoulders to move together. Hold, 2, 3, push. Modification, drop down onto your knees, or you can also elevate your push-up. Find a table, a chair, or a bench. You can do the same thing. Bring that yoga block onto the bench. Go for that push-up. That is your modification. All right, guys, our last exercise in this circuit is our core exercise. It's an anti-rotation push and pull. You can use a cable machine. If you're doing this at home, you can also use a band. And you don't want to go extremely heavy, you just want a little bit of resistance. So you want to line yourself up to the anchor point. So I have my right hand onto the handle, pull it centered with your chest. You're in a tall kneeling position. Push those toes into the ground. Now you're going to go for 10 push and pulls. Exhale, push. Inhale, pull. And you're trying to keep that handle centered with your chest. Fight any twisting, pulling, any rotation. You're going to go for 10 push and pulls. Once you've done 10 on this side, you're going to turn around, face the opposite direction, do the same thing, 10 reps other side. So that's your 3 exercises for this first circuit. We're gonna go for 2 to 3 rounds, depending on your time, taking short rests in between each exercise. All right, guys, we finished up our first circuit in the strength circuit. Now we have a second circuit coming up, another full body. So, new exercises. First exercise is a B-stance or a kickstand RDL, 10 reps on each side. So you want to pick 2 weights, suitcase hold. You want to start with your feet hip width apart. Your focus is your right. You're going to take a half a step back with that left foot. Keep your left heel lifted. We want to feel the weight shift forward on our right. Push those hips back. Push those hips forward. Keep that back in a flat position. Keep those lats engaged. Notice how I'm keeping the weight right over my shoelaces. Once I can't push my hips back any further, I push those hips forward. Once you've done 10 on one side, take a short rest. You can put the weights down, let your hands rest, and then other side. I also want to show you from this angle, because I want you to work a little bit of an internal rotation. So if I'm working my left, take a half a step back with my right. And as I push my hips back, I'm going to rotate my right dumbbell towards my left toe. And what I'm really doing is pushing the outside of my left hip even further out to the side, so we're really getting those glutes engaged. All right, we want to think a little more controlled, lowering, stand up strong. We want to feel this in our glutes and in our hamstrings. We want a slight bend in the knee, but keep the knee stacked over our ankle. Once you've done 10, weights down, take a short rest, 20 to 30 seconds. If you need longer, take longer. Next up, we have our upper body exercise. Since we did push-ups in our first circuit, we're gonna work our back with bent over rows. We're going for 10 reps on each side, so you wanna pick a weight that feels challenging, that by the time you get to your 8th, 9th, 10th rep, it feels pretty challenging. So start with that weight centered in between your feet. Take a big step back, widen your stance, bring your supporting hand down onto the floor, reach down, push those hips back, bend those knees, flat back position. Pull that weight from the inside of your knee to the outside hip. Once you've done 10 on one side, take a short rest, 20 to 30 seconds, 10 on the other side. Again, take your supporting hand, place it centered on the bench. You want to push your hips back, bend your knees, flat back position, grab that weight, start that pull with your shoulder blades. Squeeze, pull that weight to the outside of your hip. Squeeze at the top, lower down with control. After you've done your bent over rows, take a rest. Again, let your hands recover. Our final exercise in this circuit is our core exercise. So you have 2 options here. You can take a forearm plank hold, low plank hold. You're gonna do it for either 5 long breath cycles or 30 seconds, depending if you're keeping time. If you want to ramp it up and make it more intense, you can add a saw. So first, we're gonna set up our forearm plank. Elbows shoulder width apart, feet hip width apart. Separate those hands, stack your shoulders over your elbows. So you can stay here, hold. If you want to make it more intense, I want you to walk your toes back as if you're on your tippy toes, and then rock back, rock forward, keeping your hips and shoulders level. What I want you to avoid is pushing those hips up or sinking those hips down. You still maintain that plank position. You can go for 10, rock back and forth, stopping when your shoulders are over your elbows. See how far backwards you can go. And that is our circuit, our second strength circuit. All right, guys, you did an amazing job. We got a full body workout in today. Really great work. I hope you feel great, felt stronger than when you started. Thanks for working out with me.